Hello, Mr. Madomo. This is Alberto Montes, and I would like to go over my Elder Care Planner Gold with you today. Very happy to say it's come a long way, and with a lot of your help, I've squashed all the bugs that were present, and let's see how we do here. So let's open the application. Fresh start. From the beta testing, right away people wanted to just kind of make an email and a password right here and sign in. Originally, the create account link was at the very bottom, so I moved it here, and now when you focus on one of these fields, it's right in your face. So you'll notice in a minute that, oh, okay, there, I got to create an account. So let's click on create account, and let's add something in here. I'll also demonstrate some of the more in-depth error handling I did in this field when we sign into the second account. So we successfully created one. For the picture, we will start with the camera because we're going to change it later and show that we squashed one of those major bugs of changing profile picture and not updating. So let's just take a quick pic. Okay, and that makes a great profile picture. So let's just put some info in here. Use some of my stuff. You'll also notice more descriptive hints. People were confused in beta testing. Now we're done. We can send that up to the cloud. It takes a little while, and I put in a progress dialog because of the pictures. Especially when you use the camera with high resolutions, it can take a minute for the pictures to upload to the cloud. So let's send an invite just to show that it works. Let's see. I'll send it to myself. It's done. And let's send that invite. And all, for purposes of the demo, we'll say that we're sending it to this user over here, but you can see we already got the email, and the other user would be able to see that. This phone is a bit slow, but it gives you the information you need right there. Please join my group and Elder Care Planner, and it tells you the email to search for, bigsk225@gmail.com. It automatically puts in the email that we signed up with. So that person's pondering on that right now. Let's go back to the main screen. As you can see at the top, we now have the current date, so we have a reference as to the day we're on right now. And as usual, we can scroll through our different months, and there's not too much going on right now. We have to add a lot of stuff. We'll add some members. We have the about screen, gold. I'll have to update the time when I hand it in. So let's start with adding a simple event. And you'll notice now too that, let's say I try and submit this, it'll tell me to fill out the required fields with the asterisks, and now they all are marked. Okay, looks like a pretty good descriptive event. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's send it to the cloud and to our calendar. And now you can see that we're marked here on the 23rd, and we also have it checked off on our list on the bottom, which will be sorted in chronological order. And if we click on either the calendar, we can see that event, view its notes. Let's head back to our calendar. So let's head over to our other device, our Blue Studio. I've already created a user because it takes a certain amount of time that we don't have. Her name is Liz, but she got our email, she installed the app, and now she wants to join our group. But I wanted to show you some error handling. So let's say someone tries to create an account. Before I had very generic error handling, would just kind of say like failed or authorization blocked. It didn't really give you an explanation as to what was really going on. So I came up with a way to get more descriptive toasts. Email address is already in use by another account, which is the account I've already created, but just to show you that that works, instead of just saying authorization failed, we get a full description. And also, if we try and enter an email here, like I deleted your profile, I believe I remember your email. But the same thing here, if you entered an account that didn't exist, it would just say, hey, that failed. It wouldn't tell you why, and you would just be left in the dark. But now, let's say we try and log into a non-existing account, and there's no user record corresponding to this identifier. User may have been deleted. So there you can see we have way better user feedback. So now let's log Liz in. And let's see what's going on her page. So you can see she has an empty calendar. Just want to keep that screen awake. She has an empty calendar. Looks just like mine, except we have a nav bar at the bottom. Current date still up top. If we take a look in here, you can see that we have Liz Johnson over there. And on this side, we have Beto Montez. Now, there was a huge problem in beta with profile crashing on edit. So I want to show you a couple things with that right here. But first, let's join a group. So we can go in here and she remembers the email I sent her. And I'm pretty sure you know this email by heart by now too. If we do a search, it'll pull up me. You can join that group. Okay. Group successfully joined. Now we will see our calendars match. So if we pull up that event, we pull up this event, they are exactly the same. Awesome. So now everyone's in the loop, and we're going to do a lot more with these events in a little bit. So now I would like to show you too, if we look group members here, and we look at group members here, that it reciprocates. So we're all in this group together now. You'll notice my picture on the right, Beto Montez, with the really bad camera shot. So let's change that. You'll also notice that edit doesn't show up in the right until the picture's loaded. That is also some error handling. So let's edit this profile here. Let's get something a little more low res to work better with the application for now. And let's update that to the cloud. Now it takes a minute to reach the cloud, process, and come back to the other device. But let's take a look. There, it changed there. We did not crash. And let's look at our group members. I might have to launch it twice, but yeah, usually it takes a minute or two to get these pictures working, but there you go. It updates across the board. So, okay, so now we have this calendar event. We want to do a lot more with it, right? We want to get this doctor appointment done. If we need to navigate to the office, we can simply click on the orange. Orange indicates action. And we'll say, boom, we're going right here. And we can navigate there in the background, return to the application. We can also directly call that office by clicking on the phone number. Again, orange represents action. So if we hit that phone number, go straight to dial. Let's say we want to figure out who's the best person for this job. I can write a quick message and say, I may be busy that day. Anyone else have? see when we send that. Boom. Sending live comments across the board here to the group. Now maybe Liz can say, that if it was on the 24th, should be available. Boom, when she sends that, you'll notice across the board we got the live comments. So now let's answer her back one last time. And we'll put a little emoji in there just to be cool. So now we're communicating. We're trying to figure out who's the best person for this job. How are we going to get it done? So now she says the 24th. I call the doctor. Excuse me, I keep pressing that button. He says 24th is cool, so let's go here to edit. And let's set our date to 24th. Okay? Let's save that. Now you'll notice we refreshed. We have brand new list on the bottom, brand new event on the right. In person it is faster. The studio is super slow, and then the latency going to the computer. You do notice a refresh animation, but it's not really that much of a big deal, as you'll notice when you test this in person. So now the event's on the 24th. So let's check it out. And also I was gonna transfer the comments, but it didn't make sense to me. I like starting just a fresh new comments, because the comments I was testing and stuff, they just didn't make sense when you change the date, and then it was just overcrowded and cluttered. So now we have a fresh slate, and let's just say that Liz is ready to take this. And I believe it's the same verbiage I use in the application. She can send that and let me know that she's available now, so she can volunteer for that event. Let's go back to the screen here so you can see it. She says, I'm ready. You'll see up top that she has taken over the event. Her name is there. She's now responsible for that event. And you'll notice on the list that that event is checked off. And I chose checking it off to the left because when you have a really long list, it makes a really nice indent, and these events stand out awesomely. So I thought that worked great. Another great feature added into the application that is very handy. Say I uploaded the pictures on my end from my gallery from this phone over here. The user only has access to them on the cloud on their other device. So if they need this very important document for the doctor of my subway receipt, you'll notice the option in the top right corner. We click that, and we can save that directly to memory. Let's see if this works on Visor. Okay. And there it is in our gallery. So that's a lot of flexibility with the events. We can edit them in any way we want, and it will reflect to the entire group. Okay, so now I'd like to show you a few things with settings and some more behind the scenes stuff that happens. So I'm going to create a dummy event for tomorrow. And I'm not going to put much information. We're just going to go through this really quick. I'm going to call this Notif Test. And we'll give it a required start time. We'll just leave it there, 12 a.m. It's an early appointment, and we'll save that. Now you'll notice it didn't disturb her screen at all. She's still here checking out this event. But when she comes back, it'll refresh for her. So now, again, we're on the same page. Now I'm going to volunteer for this event myself. and then you'll notice it's checked. And let's go to settings. Let's turn notifications on, let's turn sound on, and let's just get assigned events. You can also pick if you want your events notified the morning before, the evening before, the night before, but we're not going to use that now because we don't have time to wait. And we're also going to hard code in a time here so that we can see the notification comes. It's been a long week. It's been a long night. We're working with the 24-hour clock here, military time. So 2:53. I don't know what I was thinking. So let's run this on the Samsung. And let's get that notification finally. So here's the revamped settings menu. As you see, we can turn notifications on and off, sound for those notifications on and off, notification type, all are assigned, notification time, morning, evening, or the night before. And here's one thing that kept coming up, the ability to change password within settings. Let's do a quick email. And you'll see that we can reset it straight from the settings. Also, I added calendar markers, customized. So let's give this a quick look. We'll get an email, a link. That link will take us to a web. And we can reset our password right there if we wanted to. Now the last little quick look. Calendar markers, circle is default. We also have star if you prefer that. And for the girls, we have hearts. This adds a little personalization to your calendar. And there's our notification, as you can see, which would work even if we were on our home screen, our phone was in our pocket. We have an upcoming event. It's called Notif Event tomorrow at 12 a.m. If we click on the body of that, it'll take us straight to that event. This also creates a back stack, so if we're coming from straight from the home screen or another application, we can navigate as we normally would. A bit of code I'm going to go over with you because I want to leave it open for you to test, but in the finished version this should be uncommented because we're going to take the user's preference of time interval, morning, evening, or night, and use that as our hour of day. But like I said, I'll leave this open so you can put in a time and make sure that it works. So before I log out of both devices, I want to show you a last bit of functionality I added in here to the group member list. Excuse me. If we click on a user, we get their information, but now we can also, represented in orange, click that phone number and quickly get in contact with them. That's a bit of utility added in there. So now I want to log out and quickly go over my backend as a service, which gave me the most problems in this whole project. So here's our auth section, a list of registered accounts. And as I said before, this account will not work because I deleted all the information associated with it. I will put that in my instructions to remind you. Also, here's my cloud storage for my images. And through quite a bit of testing, you can see there's a lot of images in here, and some are quite large. You'll see, and that's why it can take a while for them to beam up and then beam back down properly to the other devices. And then the biggest issue was right here in the database itself. So before we get into anything else, we'll start at the very core. We have a user here with a profile, and our other user here is with the profile. You'll notice that they have the same calendar ID. Now when they start, they have separate calendar IDs, but when you join a group, these calendar IDs become identical, and it creates a calendar under that reference and stores all the events and all the events information. As you can see, an event can hold comments. There's a date format there for comparing. Stores its pictures and all other relevant information. That is, this is basically my calendar represented in JSON and then beamed to the devices, and graphically displayed to the users. That took me the most time to figure out. And then here you can see each profile shows its friends, and they reciprocate as we add. And you'll notice also that we hold on to the friend's original UID. And that is so that we can access friends certain things such as pictures, their name, and their phone number, and emails for searching. But this looks very simple, but this is what gave me the most problem, was finding the correct format to get synchronization to work. But as you can see in the end result, I finally have it all working with no crashes. And I appreciate all your help, all your time. Thank you for a great month, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.